Welcome friends, it is I, Ursula Scarf, and it's time for the Sunday vlog, and this should be shorter than normal because, well, there's not a lot to talk about just yet. Got a look at Sylvanas, but not a long look. They didn't really show him off that much, but he's an interesting idea. And in the background, we're going to have Vamana Assault. Now, in that game, I wasn't actually paying any attention, and you'll notice just because I just do whatever the hell in that game. But it's a pretty good game. It goes for quite a while, as you can see. And it's interesting what happens in that game. Like, my play, don't really look at my play as very pro play, because I was just playing very willy-nilly, and not so great. But it is a very interesting match as it goes. Now, the vlog is not a lot to talk about besides Sylvanas, maybe the nerfs, but actually there's a bit to talk about there, now that I think about it. Mercury. Well, let's talk about the Mercury nerf. What the? That's not a... Okay. So the Mercury nerf is a nerf to his laning ability. Now what this does is it makes his ADC ability maybe not there anymore, because he was pretty effective as an ADC just because he could clear well. Same for his solo lane. So he might not be able to lane as well anymore. He can still do it, but it won't be as good. That's for sure, because the size will not be as big. They shortened the length of it, and it just isn't as big, but it's still doable. That's all they did to Mercury. People wanted better nerfs than that, but that's what we get out of it, and that really just affects his laning phase. His laning. He's still a hyper carry, he can still jungle well, so he should still be just as effective as he's always been. We're just not going to see him in lanes as much as he was, is my assumption, but he might still do it anyway. People might still try, and it might still be successful, so there's a good chance this didn't actually do jack diddly to Mercury, and we're going to see another nerf to him in the future. Now, the other nerf, the Kukulkan nerf, is freaking huge. Kukulkan lost a third of his damage on his tornadoes. That is huge to me. That is very big. That is his bread and butter damage right there. It's going to take longer to clear lanes. It's going to take longer to kill gods. It's just going to be harder for Kukulkan, because those tornadoes are how he sets and forgets and gets his clear. That's how he softens you up so he can finish off with his 1-4 combo. And now he doesn't have that. So he's in a very bad situation because of that. It really is. And this is because, of course, he's been popular. Okay, Mercury and Kukulkan both been popular playing lately because Kukulkan, he's a new god, although it's Alkwang, and then Mercury, Mercury's run.exe, so it made him so popular to the point people notice that he's actually really good. Mercury hasn't really changed in a long time. He's just been this good the whole time. It's just that no one ever noticed it because not a lot of people played him. Once they started playing him, they actually realized how good he was. For over a year or so, I knew he was a hyper carry. A lot of people knew he was a hyper carry. But the general populace didn't realize that. Now they do, and that's why we see him nearly every game. That's why you see him so effective. But I don't think that nerf's enough for him, and I do not agree with that Alkwang nerf. And I feel like the reason why he got nerfed is because he was being played more often and he was overperforming. But then he wouldn't be the flavor of the month anymore, and he'd be back to what he was probably before. But with this nerf, he's kind of fudged. I have no interest in playing Alkwang. I don't even want to feel how bad he feels now with that. It's going to affect his janitor work in Arena. It's just a really bad nerf to him. He loses a third of his damage, for God's sakes. That is big. That is very big. That really is. The buff to Cabrakan, nice that he has a buff to his 1. I still hate Cabrakan, and he's officially banned from my stream. I don't ever want to see Cabrakan again. I'm done with Cabrakan. He just does not perform how a support should, and it's good for variety to have a different kind of support, but I am done seeing him because he just cannot bring to the table what other supports can do. You just can't with him. He's great for initiation, he's not great for covering your ass. That's really what it comes down to. And you need a support that can do both. He can't. He's very focused on initiation, not so much covering your ass. While as all the other ones, every single one of the other Guardians are good at initiation and covering your ass. All of them. And the new god Sylvanas really shows that as well. Sylvanas is an interesting push in a different direction. Prior to Sylvanas, and this is, I don't remember when, it might have been around Changa when I said it, the idea is every god should be able to be lethal. The idea is every god should be able to be not only support. They should be able to kill, they should be able to do more than that. And this is what happened with Changa, when they made her less of a healer and more of a mage. That's what they were doing there, and that was a statement they made. Is our goal is everyone should be able to be lethal while also being able to be a teammate. And Sylvanas looks like very much purely support. Very much so. So it's interesting to see that departure there. I don't, like they asked Bart, could he do solo? I don't think he could unless he does telekines like Bart said. Yeah, I agree with that notion that unless he has a really good basic attack for the wave clear, I don't think so, because his abilities aren't that strong. He's very much focused on being a support. His passive is if you hit him with a basic attack, there is a chance you will be rooted, and he can't do it again for 12 seconds. But that root is huge. As a support in the duo lane, you get your opponent rooted. That opens them up for your teammate to do something to him, or it opens them up for you to pull them, which is his 3. I'll talk about that in a second. But that passive root is pretty useful, very useful. His 1 is basically, it's an option between an Amazon Cob Hide that only gives MP5, or does damage. That's your choices there. Or the third choice is you can destroy your hive, and it will debuff the opponent's armor. So you got 3 things you can do with that. Pretty bloated feeling, right? But it's a lot of interesting ideas there. You can basically use it as a hive for your lane, so everyone gets MP5 really quick, so they can sustain the lane very well. That's nice there. Do some damage with it, which I think is probably not the most optimal way to use it. Or debuff an enemy, and that's more of a team fight thing, right? Debuff a team of their armor. His second ability is he heals everyone that's an ally around him and damages everyone that's an enemy around him with wisps. He just throws wisps everywhere for that. That's what he does. And it's like, okay, that's an interesting ability there. That's very much team fight oriented as well. Very much, he can hold a lane pretty well. It doesn't do a lot of damage, so you can't really push it as well, though. Then his 3 is a damageless pull. It's Arachne's pull, can go through walls, does no damage. There was a time when Sobek had a pull. Sobek's pull was you ignored minions. You went through minions and pulled the enemy god right behind you. The only thing to that was you put yourself at risk of damage. And then Mercury, to an extent, has that as well. He can go through minions and pull you, but not as he can't go as far from what I can tell, or because it's slower, he puts himself more at risk of getting hurt than Sobek could, because he could pull you, then tail whip, then heal out, and stuff like that. So there's his 3, and then his ultimate is Gebald, but it's a knockup. Knockups are more effective than stuns because you can't beads out of them, and it does a DOT damage attack. So it's an interrupt, you can't beads out of it, pretty good there, sets people up for teammates. So he's very teamfight oriented. He's hugely teamfight oriented. He's good at a lane push with a teammate. He's very focused on that. In Arena, he will not be that lethal, but he'll be good for setups. You can see that. Blink ult, just like Geb, does the same thing. Blink ult, just like Geb does. Set people up, do a big team fight, heal up your teammates, hurt your enemies, put your plants down, maybe do some debuffs on your enemies or hurt someone pretty bad with it. Pull someone into a bad situation. You don't have Arachne's eggs to take advantage of it, but you still can pull someone to a bad spot with him, so not bad there. But he can't really capitalize on pulls himself to really be lethal. The thing about him, he's the least lethal god in the game from what I can tell. Then there's his basic attack, which is basically a mortar shot. It's a ranged splash attack. That's what it is. And the question was that Pi asked was, what happens when you do Polynomicon? And Flarebot said it's most likely like Isis when you do her basic attack. Her final one is a bit of an AoE, and the closest target's the one who gets hit with the proc, so that's most likely what it does. Okay. My question is, can that splash hit the tower from out of range? Because it looks pretty long. It really does. Random note, there was a time when the radius of the tower was shorter than basic attacks. So as a hunter, you could outrange and kill a tower. It was really not smart of them letting that be a thing. Luckily, they did change that eventually, because no, that should not be a thing. That should not. Being able to kill a tower from range, not good. Especially because it's unfair, because not everyone can do it either. But that was a thing. And that's all there is to talk about with Sylvanas like that. It's cool, we got another Guardian, we'll see how well it works, but it's very teamfight oriented for sure, and that's not a bad thing. It's nice to see a really, really big on support god. But it does take a departure from their old plan, which was every god should be capable of getting a good amount of kills. This is a departure from that. So we'll see how that goes and what happens with the next god after that. This week is going to be a Fenrir arena and a Zhonghui arena, Zhonghui course. So it's going to be Hercules guy at some point. Next week's going to come out. Zhonghui guy's going to get worked on. And then after that will be Kumbhakarna guy. Kumbhakarna, pretty straightforward how to play that guy. You're all about interrupting the enemy team, just being very annoying, getting in the way of everyone. It's very straightforward how you play him. It's just like you would play Geb, but in a different way. It's just get in the enemy's face, be annoying as hell, and that's really all you got to do. And that'll be pretty good there. So that should be a good guide. Of course, the first item you should buy is Mystical Mail. I'm kidding, don't buy Mystical Mail. But, yeah. That's it for that. We got a couple secret projects to work on. I have a secret project that's way long overdue. It's the episode 500 project. We're in episode like 5 something, but episode 500 will come out at some point. It's just because it's a big thing to work on. It takes a lot of work to do, a lot of tedious work, And I got studies and finals and stuff to do as well. So it's taking a while to do it, but it'll get out there eventually. We have a couple secret projects as well, besides the guide projects. And we're working on a secret project for the showcase. Now, I love the secret project we're doing. I really love it. I like it a lot. I don't know if it'll place or anything. It's a bit silly. It's a bit of a silly idea. I don't know if Hi-Rez, Kelly, and Andy will like it. It's perfectly subjective, what they like, what they don't like. I have no idea what they like and they don't like. But I hope they like it. And I hope we get to see it on the showcase because it's a funny idea. I like it a lot. There's no big topic to talk about this week. I don't have anything. Talked about plenty of things. Talked about, I'll talk about this. Criticism. Criticism's hard to take. Criticism's hard to give for some people. Some people, they love giving criticism, but doesn't mean it's very good criticism. And the real goal is to make good criticism. It's hard to do. And coming up at some point, we're going to see a video of criticism from me. And me trying to do it well. And it might be good, might not be so great. It's got to work on criticism. And it's trying to be constructive about it, though. If your criticism is not constructive, it's worthless. That, in my opinion, is how it is. You can't just say it's this. You got to say why it's like that. And what you think could be done better about it, I guess. Or something like that. Like, I don't want to give away my criticism for this one thing, but just saying, what's a good criticism? Just saying, no, I'm making a complaint about audio balancing. A lot of indie games are bad at audio balancing, and that's a pretty simple criticism. The criticism is, your audio is not so great, it's really loud in some ways, and it's quiet in others, or everything's too loud and it all clashes together. That's a pretty simple criticism. And the construction to that is, well, you can have audio sliders, or you can sound balance it better. Like, that's the constructive part of the criticism is, these are the things that can be done to make it better. Like, that's a criticism a lot of indie games have, is they just don't balance their audio very well. And it can be very obnoxious. And just maybe criticism of difficulty, or criticism of storytelling, or criticism of this or that, and just say, well, this is not very good. Well, say why it's not very good. Don't just say it's not very good. You gotta say why. Sometimes it's only a couple words is why. And stuff like that. And it's something I need to work on because I'm working with other content creators and they're looking for feedback sometimes. Now, Kylex, if you're listening, shout out to Kylex. When Kylex takes criticism, he takes it very well, and he works with it, and he makes amazing things with what he's given. Like Kylex, when he made the video he made that won at the showcase, he showed it to some people, they gave him feedback, he worked on it, and he made it even better than it was. It was amazing. It was a really good job there. Kylex did very well with the feedback he got. And so Kylex is a good example of learning from feedback. Feedback is a form of, not exactly the same as criticism, but it is still a thing to learn from. So there's that. And there's just other content creators who are showing me things. I gotta criticize them, not necessarily, but I gotta give them feedback. There you go. Feedback. Gotta give them feedback. Sometimes it's criticism, sometimes it's other words. And there's that. So I gotta work on it. Like, gotta work on the bedside manner of it, but also giving good criticism. Like, I don't want to be hurtful in saying things. I want to be, upbeat, a little positive about it. Maybe something is not so good. Maybe it is actually terrible, but there is always room for improvement to make it better. You get what I mean? Kinda, maybe? Just saying it sucks doesn't help anybody. Just saying it's crap doesn't help anybody is what I'm saying. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do any good. It's not constructive. It's not helpful. It's not good. That's what I'm trying to say. And when I do it myself, if I say, oh, this is terrible, then I need to think about why I think it's terrible. Is it a subjective thing? Is it just, I don't like this thing? Or is there a deep reason into it? Like, is it just really is objectively terrible? Or is it subjectively terrible? And I can say why or that. I can even say I think it's terrible subjectively, and here's my reasoning. And whoever gets that feedback, they can think, okay, well, this person thinks that. Now, is that something other people might think as well? And is that worth doing something about? Stuff like that, right? So there you go. Because though, we've been around for 2 years. That has earned us some respect, a little bit of respect. So people actually care what we think. Not a lot of people, but some people. And with that, you need to make sure you use it well. You prove that you deserve that respect, in a way, If someone looks to me for feedback, I should give them real feedback. Yeah, I hope you get what I mean by that. And yeah, that's it. That's really, because that's the big thing I'm thinking about right now is there's something coming up where I criticize it a lot. I criticize the balls out of it. I'm upbeat about things with it, but I'm very critical of it because it just was not good. If I worded that at all correctly, without being too cryptic, if that's the right word as well. Yeah, that's it. That is the vlog right there. The Vermont game should still be going. I believe it was a long game. I'm pretty sure it was a long game. I was, as you can tell, I was dicking around quite a bit in this game, quite a bit. And then I start to actually play seriously a little bit near the end of it. You'll see, you'll see. That's it. Yeah, that's it for the vlog. Not a very long one this time from me. There's not a lot to talk about right now. I'm just really busy with things. I got a lot of things to do and I got things to think about, so I don't know. The future we'll see with that. But I say, I don't know how long. It's going to take 10 years for us to get big, maybe. I'm saying 10 years-ish. That's what I'm thinking. Even if we don't, we'll build ourselves a little niche, I think. We'll build ourselves a little corner in the internet, I feel. It'll have a nice little following and we'll have a lot of fun with that. I want to hit the big time. Whether that ever happens or not, who knows, but we will work towards it. But as the years go by, I will, of course, have a job, and with that job, I'm going to do things. It's all about, in a way, it partially taken from Brutal Legend, it's all about the fans. It's all about entertaining. And so with that, having a job and everything, we'll give back with, well, we'll give more. Not really give back, but give more with giveaways and stuff, because I really want to do that. And I think the way to do it is maybe once in a while give away to AAAs, but I think the better way to do it is what Indie Gaming Check's been doing. That is giving away indie games so that the word can be spread about the indies, so that people can know more about indies and get more interested in indies and help breed more life into that. Indies have plenty of life, but I mean add to it, help to it, help with indies a bit. I think that's the way to go about it. She gets free copies from devs, but I'd be buying them from devs I'd like and selling the copy. I'm not selling it. And giving away the copies. They sell me the copies, and I give them away to you guys. You guys love or like them, love or hate them, whatever. Give feedback, and that gets more voices talking about these different indies. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling here. No, not anywhere, not anytime soon. But after I have a job, I think I would buy a couple copies of whatever indie games I like, give them away so you guys can see what you think, and maybe spread the word to your buddies, maybe. I think that's a nice thing to do for indies. At least in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I'm not in a position to do it yet. So there's no hope for that yet. But in the future, that is something I'd like to do. I'm going to be doing giveaways. I'm going to be kind of that guy doing giveaways, but it's not for attention. It's just because I want to spread games to people. That's really the reason for it. And that is it. That's the vlog right there. And yeah, had a lot of fun doing things. This channel's great. I love doing the channel. It's all fun. Everything's fun. Fun. And oh yeah, as far as streams go, probably get a hold of Nada, do another stream with Nada. We'll probably see Kylax and all the other streamers again in the future. I want to get a hold of Spiff. I haven't talked to Spiff yet, but I want to get a hold of him. If we can't do a stream, at least do a video together. He's a funny guy. He's a pretty entertaining guy. I don't talk to him enough. He's pretty great. So, gotta talk to him and get a hold of him and do stuff with him, if possible. Also gotta get a hold of Hugo Stiggs and do stuff with him as well. My schedule's busy, so I gotta figure things out. But that's the vlog right there. I had fun watching and listening, and watching the Vermont game, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.
Spree. Has been slain. Left the river. Deicide.
No! You must keep...
Curses, you have been slain. Be careful. An ally has been slain.
is ready.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Curses!
An ally has been slain. Be careful. Killing spree. Slain an enemy. Slain an enemy.
No! I must keep...
You have been slain.
On my way.
Killing spree. To shatter mountains. An enemy has been slain.
I will remember my orders. Transform!
Just going to close my eyes.
An enemy has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Side weapons and be friends. Electric on.
Lift up. Your team has destroyed a middle enemy Phoenix. Shatter mountains. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. Retreat! Retreat!
Okay.
An ally has left the game.
Curses!
An ally. An enemy Slain an enemy.
I wish you no harm, but I am programmed to lie.